All right. Hello there. Let me get rid of this because I need a producer. The Producer Joe Show needs a producer to click buttons because that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm still trying to do it at this moment. We are live. Let me just change this right here so I can make sure everybody can see it. And we are good there. Hello, and welcome back to the Producer Joe Show. Really interesting show coming your way. And it's kind of funny, I didn't realize until the other day, but with this show, this is 3 consecutive KGB radio-related shows. A few weeks ago, we had Bromo from the DSC. Last week, we had Jim McGinnis. And this week, here's my introduction, we have Raul. Raul Sandelin is a filmmaker, documentarian, and he has made a documentary on KGB radio. And before we go any further here, I just want to remind you, and I'll even put it right here, the comments area is open for you. Feel free to drop your comments down there. And please like and subscribe because there will be more shows heading your way, a lot of fun shows. But anyway, enough about that. Let's bring, come on down. Come on in here, Raul.
I'm here. Hi, Joe. How's it going?
I see you there. I do see you there.
Yes, I'm out there somewhere in radio land, TV land, podcast land. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right, man. I really appreciate you coming on here. This is I've been following you for years on this, and it's really exciting that it's taking another big step.
Yes, it has. And before I go too far, I also just want to mention Tony Butler. He's really the co-producer, my co-filmmaker on this whole thing. When we talk about this project straddling a couple of decades, which it has, Tony's been there also. So Tony, a longtime local musician, media guy, filmmaker. So shout out to Tony. So please don't give me all the credit.
Well, I just put a little shout out for him up there on the screen. That's cool. No, teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say.
Yeah. Team is the dream. But cool. This is a big project. It's been around. A lot of radio people have already heard about it. You mentioned McGinnis and Bromo. You know, KGB is such a big pillar in the radio community here in San Diego. It makes sense that we would just have sort of a never-ending stream of KGB-themed shows here. But yes, we've been doing a big documentary about KGB and the golden age of KGB.
It wasn't planned that way. It's just all 3 shows came together, and pretty cool, actually. I was pretty happy about that. So before we delve into the documentary, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? How did you get to this point at making a KGB documentary?
Yeah, well, I'm a San Diego native, an El Cajon native. Was listening to KGB back in the 70s, you know, as I kind of grew up out of Top 40 and KCBQ. You know, the next step was KGB. I met Jim McGinnis when I was 14, and I think he was 27 at like a Eric the Red's, you know, KGB van radio, you know, one of those remotes, you know, and I was 14. I'm 61 now, so that sort of tells you how long I've been listening to KGB.
Sure.
Yeah, and then fast forward, and I like I said, this has straddled a couple of decades. In 2018, I believe, we got invited to one of Gabriel Wisdom's annual alumni lunches. So we went out, did some interviews. Everybody seemed real hip and happy about making something. We didn't know what, but everybody wanted to get on film saying a few things. So it just kind of rolled from there. And it's been 6 years, you know, and we've rolled through COVID and then some.
Well, that's great. I know, I mean, I'm happy that you did this. You know, I'm also a native San Diegan, native El Cajonian. So we have a lot in common right there.
Great.
And, you know, growing up listening to KGB as I have, you know, I'm right there with you. You know, you had some great names on that station, least of all being Shotgun Tom. It's pretty cool. We're going to see a video a little bit later that Raul provided me about the documentary. But so this started in about 2018, and then you said you've already released it in parts. Is that correct?
Yeah, but can I just back up and give my Shotgun Tom story? Everybody's got one, right? Talking about local connections, Shotgun Tom came to my school in sixth grade. He was friends with my sixth grade teacher, Craig Wallets, again, also an El Cajon public schools teacher for many years. So I met Shotgun Tom, around that same time also. But anyway.
What school was this?
Cuyamaca Elementary, right in the heart by Renette Park in the heart of El Cajon.
Gotcha. No, he's always been good with the community. He's always out there. I know I met him a couple times when I was younger, and he sure just leaves that lasting impression on you.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So your documentary, how is it being received among the radio people?
Everybody loves it. We, full disclosure, we've been at this for a while, as I said, and we actually, during COVID, released a 4.5-hour, 5-episode mini-series, which we aired, screened at the downtown library, the one by Petco Park with the dome. So we screened that, I believe, 3 years ago in all its glory. And it's a mofo of a documentary. It's like I said, it's a mini series, but at the same time, we realized to get something that was sort of palatable for a more wider consumption, we had to get something closer to an hour. So that's what we've done. So we had the 4.5-hour, 5-episode. Now we've pared that all down into what's called a TV 1 hour. So it'll fit into a 1-hour TV format.
Nice. Excellent. We'll have a preview of that here shortly. I did want to give a little bit of shout out on my own. I added one little doodad right here.
Love doodads.
This is a 1988 All-Star ballot. This is completely off topic, I know that, but I have to give a shout out. 1988 All-Star ballot. I remember sitting at Jack Murphy Stadium and punching the All-Star ballots, but Andy Strasburg gave this to me. And it just means the world to me, and you couldn't see it where it was before, but I hope you guys can read it. It's front and center now. I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy. Oh, look, we have a comment to the show. And it is none other than Shotgun Tom Kelly.
Oh no!
Loved you guys bringing your camera into my studio so I could be a part of that documentary. It was a lot of fun, man. Tom, thank you for watching. That's great.
Thanks, Shotgun.
He's been on this show a couple times. What a generous guy.
Yeah. Did he show you his trains?
Oh yes, I have seen his trains. He's got. Kind of like me, he's just got stuff everywhere to look at. It's a fun place to be.
And he's done some really cool videos, train POV videos with a real fantastic filmmaker. I guess they're on YouTube. If you could look up.
That's put together by Johnny Kay, his former program director. And
okay.
The visual is just incredible. I mean, you'd think you're right there. And, check this out. Tom remembers going to your school.
Okay, yeah, he should remember the name Craig Wallets. I guess they went to junior high together, something like that.
Looks like Shotgun's book is coming out in August. Title of the book. All I want to do is play the hits. It's going to be on Amazon. So, nice little shameless plug there for Shotgun. That's great.
Thanks, Shotgun.
Yeah. He remembers your teacher.
Yeah. We're just a big, close-knit family here in San Diego, in Radio Land.
That's great. Thanks for watching, Tom. Anyways, back on track here. So if you don't mind, I'm going to play that video we talked about. It's going to be a little choppy here getting to it, but here we go.
3, 2, 1.
I knew nobody at KGB, but I always wanted to go inside and see what it was like.
The KG Beach Boys on Boss Radio 136 KGB. Buona Johnny, the KG Beatles. That's a bad impression of a top 40 DJ.
Somebody snipped the telephone line and put KGB off the air. Those radio wars.
Well, I found out that the singer in Bad Radio is Eddie Vedder. Now I wish I could find that, just to say I have it. Eddie, if you hear me, Eddie, send me a copy.
I saw the good, bad, and the ugly.
So he cautioned everybody that you're going to have to wear a chicken suit.
I guess if I had one thing to ask Ron Jacobs, it would be, why a chicken? Why a chicken? What does a chicken have to do with rock?
Rocks the Sky Show.
Proof of the genius is that the KGB Sky Show is still going strong more than 40 years later.
So long, San Diego, I'm leaving tonight. Gonna catch the next plane to LA.
The dreaded dead air. Being on the air, KGB, records running out, breathless feeling. It makes me proud to know that, at heart, I'm a radio guy.
I loved the plea from Jim McGinnis. If you're out there, Eddie, that was pretty funny.
We're still hoping Eddie Vedder chimes in or at least returns that cassette tape. It was a bad radio cassette tape that Jim McGinnis was sent, and he chucked it. That's the long story, is he threw it away, and then found out later, oh, this is Eddie Vedder's band. So now he wants it back, or at least a new copy.
Yeah, you never know. When you're doing shows like that, you never know what the future holds.
Yeah, and another story is Stephen Bishop, the On and On song. It used to be down in La Jolla, and then he changed it to down in Jamaica. And Stephen Bishop, it went on to be, gold, maybe platinum, a big 70s hit. That was another song that was rejected by KGB. But yeah, that was a splash reel. So if it seemed like the stories were unfinished or unstarted, you have to watch the 1 hour documentary. Those are just little bits and pieces of what's to come.
So let's talk about that for a second. So what's your plans for this, your release? How can people watch it?
Well, we realized the 4.5 hour, 5 episode miniseries was a little too much to handle. So we've got it into a bite-sized 1 hour, and now we'd really like to get it on some TV stations. It's a little less than an hour long to accommodate commercials. It's ready to go. It's, it'll pass any ratings that anybody needs to pass. We're all ready to go. Now, if anybody's interested in seeing not just the history of KGB radio, but the history of FM progressive rock radio, and also the history of a radio station. For those of you interested in, starting a podcast or a channel of some kind, here's how to do it, because KGB was one of the best. So we're trying to get it on as many TV stations as we can locally, and even, outside of the San Diego market. And then we'll see. I've talked to some people at KCR at SDSU. A lot of the DJs came from KCR. So we might archive it there in some form or fashion. Not to give a cheap plug, but my mom was also a librarian at SDSU for 30 years. So that would be a nice place, for it to go. And also there's the usual places like Amazon Prime, and we have a couple films on Amazon already. So that would be a natural sort of final resting place if need be. But in the meantime, we'd really like to disseminate it on as many TV stations as we possibly can.
What do you already have on Amazon Prime?
We have Ticket to Write, the Golden Age of Rock Music Journalism. and that actually is narrated by Gabriel Wisdom. And then we had a short version of a Lester Bangs documentary we did called Box Full of Rocks, the El Cajon years of Lester Bangs. Again, for all you El Cajonians out there, Lester Bangs was the mentor to Cameron Crowe, grew up in El Cajon, writer for Cream Magazine. His character is played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Cameron Crowe's Almost Famous. Lester's the one wearing the Detroit Sucks t-shirt. So we did that, and that was on Amazon Prime for a while. I'd have to check, see if it still is, but definitely Ticket to Write, the golden age of rock music journalism, narrated by not only Gabriel Wisdom, is still on there.
All right. I like that. How can people reach you if they would like to be a part of this and helping you?
Let's see. Probably the easiest way, I'm on kind of standard social media, Facebook, my name, Raul Sandelin, Instagram. Also, email always works, which is my name, Raul Sandelin Films, Films. So my name with films, all one word, at Gmail. I'm also a professor at Grossmont College. So if you need to reach me, you could always find me there, I'm sure.
Hey, I went to college there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were going to say 5 years. I was on the 5-year community college.
No, mine was much more swift.
Okay.
Long story on that one.
And there's a lot of history there too. Lester went to Grossmont. Cameron, I believe, he wrote about Grossmont College in the liner notes to the 2 homegrown albums that he wrote the liner notes for. So Grossmont's been mentioned in local rock and roll lore many times also.
And I believe Lester's name was mentioned, was it an REM song?
Yes, in It's the End of the World as We Know It.
Yep, that's correct.
And a few songs. There's a whole list of rock songs that mention Lester Bangs. He's inspired a lot of stuff. For those of you who have grown up here or care about rock and roll journalism, I mean, Lester Bangs was the real deal. And he grew up in the apartments on First Street, right across from the famous handball courts at El Cajon Valley High School.
And that's where I went.
I went to both. I went to Grossmont and El Cajon. They switched me.
So you were right by his old homestead.
Yeah. I mean, it's been there many times. Also played a lot of baseball and football at Wells Park, which is a block from the school, and that's where Lester would go. And actually, if you've heard Lester Bangs' lore, he would go there and smash the records that he didn't like. It's kind of seems destructive now, but yeah, he'd go to the parking lot and fling them like Frisbees in the Wells Park parking lot.
That's funny. Well, unless you have anything else to share, that pretty much wraps it up. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Just want to give a shout out to everybody who helped us out and participated. And I know I'm going to miss a ton of names because there were a ton of people. I think we ultimately interviewed about 30 people, and ultimately about 20 DJs made the final cut in this 1 hour. But you'll see the usual suspects: Jim McGinnis, Gabe Wisdom, Bill Hergensen, Co Lewis, Berger and Prescott, Cookie Chainsaw Randolph and Chris Boyer from the BSC, Ted Gianolis, the famous San Diego Chicken. And again, I've only scratched the surface, and that wasn't a chicken joke. But I'm sure there's a bunch of other people who.
You saw Shotgun on there. You saw, saw Shotgun on there. Camera.
Shotgun, yeah, we just were talking to Shotgun, or reading his comments in the comments section, and of course Tony Butler, cinematographer, editor, musician extraordinaire, longtime San Diego native. Also, his brother Jack Butler is a longtime musician. They run sort of in the Jerry Rainey Beat Farmers crowd, another East County El Cajon band. So yeah, this is all in the family here, and we're hoping, to, show it to other people and spread the word and build the family, grow the family.
I like it. That's the idea. Absolutely. Well, Raul, this has been fun. Thank you for taking the time coming on my little show here.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Joe. This is great. And I really love those intro titles, Real Pro.
Thanks. I just need to get a producer now so that when I come on camera, I'm not fiddling with buttons and everything like that. That'll come one day, but I appreciate that. I worked really hard on the intro and outro. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks really good. So yeah, and it always helps to have a second, person kind of helping you with all of that. Makes everything go smoother.
Well, my entire staff here thanks you very much.
Yeah, you're a one-man band, and we appreciate that.
All right, Raul. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to cut it out now, and enjoy your day. And you will see this video on YouTube if you'd like to share it. And again, everyone, please subscribe, and there's more shows to come.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Thanks, everybody out there in Radio Land, and hope to see you soon.
All right, Raul. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.